Most homeowners think getting a building permit is about showing up at the office of the building official with a set of house plans. That assumption is exactly why thousands of Filipino homeowners walk into that building every month, sit in line, reach the counter, and get sent home. Not because their plans were wrong, not because their architect made a mistake, because nobody gave them the complete checklist of what has to be ready before that visit even begins. So in this video, I'm going to give it to you. Every item, in the exact sequence it has to happen, so you walk in prepared and walk out with your permit. Here is how it usually goes. You buy the lot, you talk to an architect, plans get drawn, someone says we're ready to file, and you head to the OBO or the office of the building official. What happens next is a very Philippine experience. The officer at the counter goes through your documents one by one. Then they stop. One clearance is missing. One professional's PTR expired 6 months ago. One certified copy was obtained before the title was fully transferred. They hand everything back. Come back when it's complete. That is not a bad day at the government office. That is a 4 to 6 week delay because you restart the queue, reprocess the clearances, and in some cases pay for new certified copies of documents that have since expired. Every week your building permit is delayed is a week your construction crew is not on site. Material prices in the Philippines move, steel, cement, aggregates, and any cost projection your contractor gave you 3 months ago may no longer hold. If your lot is financed, the clock on that loan runs whether your foundation is poured or not. One missing document at the OBO counter does not cost you a day. It can cost you a season. I've been building homes across Calabarzon for over 30 years. What I'm going to walk you through is the exact sequence. Every document, every professional credential, every clearance. That has to be in order before you step inside that building. This is the checklist the OBO window will never print for you. But after this video, you'll have it. By the time we're done, you'll know what to gather first, who to hire before you can even apply, which clearances go in which order, and what goes on every form before you submit. No guessing. No wasted trips. The permit process does not start with plans. Before your architect draws a single line, before any plan gets signed and sealed, the OBO has one question that has nothing to do with your design. Who legally owns this land? And is that ownership clean on paper? Plans can wait. This cannot. What if you discovered, 3 days before your OBO appointment, that your title still carries the previous owner's name at the registry of deeds? The sale happened, the deed was signed, but the transfer was never processed. The OBO cannot issue a permit on land that isn't legally yours on paper yet, and this happens far more often than anyone talks about. So gather your land documents first. Everything else in this checklist is built on top of them. First, your transfer certificate of title, your TCT. You need 2 certified true copies from the registry of deeds with the red ribbon seal. Plain photocopies are not accepted. You'll also need additional copies to complete the 5-set submission standard required across your full application. Second, your tax declaration. 2 certified true copies from the assessor's office. One for the land, one for any existing structure on it. The classification on that declaration must say residential. If it says agricultural, you have a separate conversion process to handle before you touch a permit application. Third, your tax clearance. 1 original copy for the current year, proving there are no outstanding obligations on the property. Fourth, your real property tax receipt, your amilyar, for the current year. 5 photocopies, fully paid. And fifth, if the title is not yet in your name, a duly notarized deed of absolute sale, contract of lease, or contract to sell, whichever applies to your situation. That's phase 1. Get these right before you do anything else. And once you have them, there's a step most homeowners skip entirely, one that can invalidate everything you just gathered if the ground beneath your house turns out to be something other than what you assumed. But before we proceed to your architect's office, let me give you a scenario. Imagine a homeowner who skips any ground survey because the title already shows the exact boundaries. Plans go in. Construction starts. 6 months in, a neighbor puts up a fence, and it's sitting exactly where your wall already is. A boundary dispute on an active construction site. That story does not end well. Here's the hidden mistake that quietly ruins projects. Most guides will tell you to get a relocation survey before filing for a permit. Here is what those guides leave out. The OBO does not require the relocation survey. What the OBO actually requires is your lot plan with technical description, a document that confirms the exact shape, size, and boundaries of your property. Same professional, different document, and most homeowners don't know the difference until they're standing at the counter. The relocation survey is extra protection for you. It places physical corner markers on the ground so you know exactly where your boundaries sit. The OBO won't ask for it. but boundary disputes like the one I just described happen because homeowners skip it. Both documents come from a licensed geodetic engineer. For your building permit, what you need is the lot plan with technical description. This is what the OBO checks. But while that engineer is on your property, have them do the full relocation survey as well. It protects you. Relative to the cost of a boundary dispute, it costs almost nothing. If your lot is inside a private subdivision, add one more document before you proceed, the Homeowners Association clearance. Every private village in the Philippines has construction guidelines, allowable building heights, firewall rules, exterior design requirements. The developer's clearance governs all of it. Start designing without it, and you may have to start over. And if your structure will be 3 stories or higher, that's 9 meters and above, the National Building Code requires a soil boring test report. A geotechnical company conducts the test. A licensed civil engineer signs it. It tells you how much load the ground can carry and how deep your foundation needs to go. One more item, and this one catches people off guard. If your lot is not flat, your architect may require a topographical survey before they can finalize your plans. It maps the slope and elevation changes across your property. Without it, your architect is designing on assumed terrain, and that assumption affects your drainage plan, your foundation depth, and the cost of your earthworks. Below 3 stories, the boring test is not legally required, but I've seen enough foundations poured on soft ground in Cavite and Laguna to tell you having it done anyway is money you won't regret spending. With your lot documented and your surveys in hand, you can now build the team that turns those measurements into plans. But not just any professionals, and this is where first-time applicants hit the wall. Every homeowner wants their plans drawn and submitted fast, and most go looking for an architect the moment they have a title in hand. But the question the OBO will answer first has nothing to do with what your plans look like. They'll check who signed them, and whether those professionals' licenses and PTRs are still valid for this year. We are entering the most important part of the process right now. Here is what most homeowners don't know. You cannot legally submit plans to the OBO unless those plans carry the signatures and professional seals of specific licensed professionals. With current Professional Regulation Commission IDs and current PTRs. A PTR is a professional tax receipt. It renews every year. An expired PTR, even by 1 month, results in the automatic rejection of your entire permit application, not a request to update it. Rejection. Full stop. So you verify your professional's credentials before they draw a single sheet, not after 5 sets are already printed and bound. The minimum professional team for a building permit in the Philippines is 4 licensed individuals. 1. A licensed architect, who draws and seals the architectural plans. Floor plans, 4 elevations, sections, roof plan, site development plan, door and window schedules, all of it. 2. A licensed civil engineer, who signs the structural plans. Foundation layout, column and beam details, framing plans, slab specifications, all engineered for seismic and wind loads per the National Structural Code. 3. A professional electrical engineer, or PEE, who seals the electrical plans, outlet locations, switch layouts, panel boards, riser diagrams, load schedule. 4. A sanitary engineer or licensed master plumber, who signs the sanitary and plumbing plans. Water supply lines, drainage system, septic tank. If your home includes centralized HVAC, elevators, or pump systems, add a professional mechanical engineer. If it includes CCTV, structured wiring, or fire alarms, add an electronics engineer. For every professional signing your plans, prepare 2 photocopies of their current PRC ID and 2 photocopies of their current year PTR. Those credentials go into every set you submit. That's the professional package. No shortcuts here. You've got the team. Now comes what they'll actually produce and the supporting documents that most first-time applicants forget to include entirely. Everything you've gathered in the first 3 phases will mean nothing if you walk in without the full plan package. The OBO does not open an incomplete envelope. Now, this next part is urgent if you're already in conversation with contractors. Most applicants know they need architectural and structural plans. What they don't know is that the OBO requires a full set of technical supporting documents alongside those plans, and these are the ones most homeowners show up without. The bill of quantities, the design specifications, the structural design analysis, the electrical design analysis. Missing any one of these, and the application is incomplete. The queue starts over. You need 5 complete sets of everything. Here is what goes in each set. The architectural plans, signed and sealed by your architect. Floor plans, 4 elevations, sections, roof plan, site development plan, door and window schedules. The civil and structural plans, signed and sealed by your civil engineer. Foundation layout, column and beam schedule, framing plan, slab details. For all homes except single-story structures below 20 square meters, include the structural design analysis. For 3 stories and above, the soil boring report goes in as well. The electrical plans, signed and sealed by your PEE, load schedule, panel layout, riser diagram, outlet, and switch plan. The sanitary and plumbing plans, signed and sealed by your sanitary engineer or master plumber. Supply lines, drainage, septic tank detail, and the supporting documents, 5 sets each. Design specifications, bill of quantities, structural design analysis, and electrical design analysis. All signed. Everything printed on standard 20 by 30-inch plan sheets. 5 complete sets, not 4, not 6, 5. That's the full plan package. And if you want all of this in one place, there's a building permit checklist in the description you can download for free and use as your guide. Check the link below. Now, before you take any of it to the OBO, there is a sequence of clearances that has to happen first, and if you go out of order, you do it again. A simple step-by-step system that turns what looks like a clearance maze into a straight line to the OBO window without you needing to guess which office comes before which. Let's slow down. This part is more important than it looks. The clearances have a fixed sequence, and the OBO enforces it. Show up with a locational clearance obtained before you had the barangay clearance, and you have a problem. The barangay signs off first. Only then does the zoning office process your locational clearance. Only then does the Bureau of Fire Protection review your plans. Skip a step or reverse the order and you redo it from where you broke the chain. That's not a policy suggestion. That's the rule. Here is the clearance sequence in order. First, barangay clearance. Go to the barangay hall where your lot is located. Bring your title, your tax declaration, and a brief description of the project. This is the first gate, and it opens everything that follows. Based on our experience, in Dasmariñas, Cavite, we don't go to the barangay hall for this. The barangay clearance is processed directly at the city hall. Procedures vary by LGU, so check with your local OBO first before making the trip. Second, locational or zoning clearance. Bring your barangay clearance to your city or municipal planning and development office, the CPDO or MPDO. This confirms that a residential building is legally permitted in your specific zone. Third, fire safety evaluation clearance, or FSEC. Once your application is filed at the OBO, one set of your architectural plans gets routed to the city or municipal fire marshal. The Bureau of Fire Protection has 5 working days to review your layout for fire safety compliance. No FSEC, no building permit. There is no exception to this step. Fourth, if your property fronts a national road under Department of Public Works and Highways, DPWH jurisdiction, you need a DPWH clearance. Depending on your location, you may also need clearances from the Air Transportation Office if you're near an airport, or from the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, DENR, if your project triggers environmental review requirements, which, if you've ever spent a morning at your barangay hall watching a clerk manually stamp 40 forms on carbon paper, is a lesson you only need to learn once. You go once. You go prepared. Clearance is done. One phase left, and it is the one where most complete applications quietly fall apart at the very end. Even with all 5 phases covered, there's one thing no checklist can guarantee. Whether your submission becomes a permit in hand that starts your build, or a returned envelope that sends you back to phase 1. That gap almost always comes down to one thing: whether your application forms are complete, correct, and properly notarized before you queue up. This is the ultimate sanity check before you commit. National Building Code, NBC Form B01, the main building permit application form, has to be notarized. It has to be signed and sealed by your design professionals, and you need 5 sets. But here is what most guides leave out entirely: the ancillary permits. A building permit application is legally null and void if it is not accompanied by separate permit applications for every scope of work: architectural, civil, electrical, sanitary, plumbing, mechanical if it applies, electronics if it applies. These are standalone application forms, not the same as the plans themselves. Everyone has to be filled out, signed by the corresponding licensed professional, and submitted alongside the main form. Show up without these, and the counter doesn't open your envelope. So for this final phase, 5 complete sets of NBC Form B01, fully accomplished and notarized, and all corresponding ancillary permit forms for every scope of work on your project. If your build has workers on site, and it will, you also need a DOLE clearance from the Department of Labor and Employment. This covers the Construction Safety and Health Program and is an OBO requirement across multiple LGUs in the Philippines. Now here is what a complete submission triggers. Under RA 11032, the Ease of Doing Business Act, the OBO has a mandated processing window. For complete and compliant applications, the practical timeline runs 10 to 15 working days from the date of acceptance. After technical review, you receive an order of payment. You pay the permit fees, which range from roughly 5,000 for smaller residential builds to 50,000 or more for large homes, depending on your municipality. Within 5 working days of payment, your permit is ready to claim. That is what a complete sequence submission looks like. 1 trip in, 1 permit out. So there is the complete pre-OBO checklist, 6 phases, in sequence, that the OBO will enforce but will never hand to you. Your land documents first, then your site surveys and HOA clearance. Then your licensed professional team with current PRC IDs and current year PTRs. Then 5 complete plan sets with every technical document included. Then your clearances in the correct order, starting at the barangay. Then your application forms, your DOLE clearance, and your submission. The process is not impossible. The gap has always been the same. Nobody handed anyone this list before they showed up. Now you have it. Now that your permit documents are in order, the next conversation you need to be ready for is with your contractor. We made a video specifically for that. Everything you need to prepare before you sit down with a contractor for the first time. That video is on the screen right now. Watch it next.